Why hello everyone, Spencer here, also known as Screen Speak, and in today's video, this is my From the World of John Wick, Ballerina spoiler review. So without further ado, let's discuss. Alright everyone, so as I just said, this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler-ish review. Try to keep myself to a minimum with the spoilers, but again, today I just got out of seeing the movie 45 minutes ago, and this movie is a blast. It's a literal blast from the opening prologue to the end of the film. There's non-stop action, and this is a spin-off of the John Wick movies. It takes place in between 3 and 4, and this is what I wanted. This is what I was looking for from action, from Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and it wasn't there. It wasn't there in that movie, and it's there in this one. And I remember coming out 2023. I had Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning was my second favorite movie that year, and number 3 was John Wick 4. And I still stand by that. Those two films are really great, dang awesome. And I came out of The Final Reckoning going, man, if Ballerina is bad, I can only imagine my top 10 list of this year going, well, neither of these films are on my top 10, and Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning is not on my top 10 of the year list. I mean, it won't even make the cut. Not only I'm yeah, well, I don't know how my list is gonna go. No, it's not even making my half of the year list. It's not even making my end of the year list. Nothing. But this film does. And the action in this is incredible. And I have to say, before I forget, Tyler Bates with the soundtrack. Because 2 years ago, I can't remember what it was. I think it was 2023. I think it was fall of 23, which we got John Wick 4 that March, and then fall, that predecessor, that literal fall of that year, we got a show called The Continental, which it was 3 episodes, not even a regular show. It was just 3 episodes of 90-minute, three 90-minute episodes of telling a prequel story of The Continental with young Winston and young Lance Reddick's character, and it seemed cool. The idea seemed cool. I was interested. After watching it, I went, when am I ever going to watch that again? It just, to me, felt like they needed more more pizzazz to that, whatever they were trying to go for. But this, because after John Wick 4, I went, all right, give me more movies. I heard, there's speculation about a John Wick 5. There's potential talks about more spin-offs. But hey, I heard about this, and I was all for it when I cast Ana de Armas as the Ballerina role. When I heard about this, it was supposed to come out last year. They kept promoting it with the poster. I was yeah, I was ready. I had this on my top 10 of the year list, most anticipated for last year. Got really excited, and then it got delayed, and I was all right. And I think the reason I got delayed, I wasn't upset Spider-Verse. Well, Spider-Verse, I still understand why. I wasn't that upset about kind of Dude, because it wasn't supposed to come out had a firm release date. It was Mickey 17, where it was delayed. But this, I enjoyed this way more than Mickey 17. I was excited for Mickey 17, but this was awesome. Like I said, Tyler Bates with the soundtrack, it felt like the vibe of John Wick. When I'm watching Continental, I'm just what? I think this movie, if you even, because John Wick is in, a good 20 minutes of this movie, if you even took John Wick himself out of this movie, and still, the soundtrack still felt vibrant from the previous 4 John Wick movies, I think I'd still be me, myself, be yes, this still fits in the world, regardless of John Wick is in this film or not. That's how I personally felt, because even without, even the scenes without John Wick, I'm going, yes, 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 and yes, across the board. I just felt the vibe, and even the directing tone, because the director is Len Wiseman, who did, I'm going to look it up right now. Because I completely forgot. After the film, I was he did Live Free and Die Hard. Len Wiseman. Batman. So he did the Underworld movies, which I haven't seen, and Total Recall 2012, not the original, and then Live Free or Die Hard. So I've not seen the Underworld. Oh, and he did Die Hard McClane, Die Hardest, whatever that movie is. But I never seen that. I've only seen the first Die Hard, which is not the best Christmas movie. So we're gonna put that to an end. But yeah, I again, he's done some action films, and this one was great. And I know Chad Stahelski was a producer on this. He came in to to course correct some of the action scenes, and I loved all the action scenes. The flamethrower scene, the plate scene, the kitchen scene. There was just so much goodness, and there's like a top-down angle, like especially in the street with the flamethrower scene that reminded me of the top-down scene from John Wick 4. And I was like the color palettes were sick and dope, and with the purple, which you see right on me right now, you see purple, from the poster is purple, and I'm like, yes, this feels exactly like a tone from John Wick, like what they're going for in John Wick 4. Like, each of the John Wicks have had their distinct style, and I loved it. I absolutely loved this one. It just felt like a great spin-off, a spin-off for this world done right, as opposed to the Continental. And let me be straightforward and honest with you. Like I said, the action's phenomenal, the music's phenomenal, the acting by Ana de Armas. We have the director from the movie theater, the woman who's in John Wick 3 in the Ballerina scene, Keanu Reeves, Norman Reedus, who's Daryl Dixon and who's in The Walking Dead or whatever, in that Daryl Dixon series, and who's in Walking Dead. And I was like, cool, I love this guy. And by the way, I'm going to get to the another point later, but a couple of things. One, I loved seeing Diego, David Calavasta, or whatever his last name is, from the Umbrella Academy. I was surprised. That was a treat to witness. I knew some of the cast, but I didn't know that he was her dad. And I'm like, what? I recognize that guy. It's Diego from the Umbrella Academy. I'm like, he's probably my favorite. Diego and Klaus are probably my two favorite characters from the Umbrella Academy. But Diego, it has a really cool facial hair going on. I'm like, hey man, what's up? That was a cool surprise to see on screen when the prologue came on. But so his daughter, Eve, the guy who plays Diego in Umbrella Academy, I'm just calling him that because I know him as that, was the father of Eve, the ballerina, and she grows up because she loses him, her dad, and then she goes to see this guy who has a tattoo, this X brand on their wrist, and then he has a daughter. This guy in this cult has a daughter, so she's trying to save her from the grandfather, from this bad guy, the bad guy of the film, the villain of the movie. And I thought it was a very cool story involved, father daughters and everything, and I was like, yes. So I loved it. I love that little father daughter parenting aspect, or keep them safe, keep the daughter safe. So I love that a lot. Was interested in that, and so yeah, I thought that was really cool. Everything else about everything in this movie across the board is great. I'm not going to call it a 10 out of 10 movie. I would call it a 10. By the way, but John Wick though, John Wick fights coming in, John Wick appearing and having his little moments throughout the film were perfect, and then the fight, him fighting Ana de Armas' ballerina character was perfect as well, and the way the resolution of the film, top notch, taking out the bad guy with just shooting him right then and there. Nailed it. I don't really have any critiques of this film. I do think that I feel like it's a perfect spin-off, but I don't think it hasn't done that well in the theater. So I don't know how to recommend this to people. It's a great John Wick film. If you're a fan of it, yeah, but it's are you gonna know the underlying depth and lore of the franchise if you haven't seen the other ones? You don't need to watch the only John Wick 3 is the only one with the ballerinas. But I still enjoy all this franchise and whatnot, so I recommend that you watch all the other ones, 1, 2, and 3, and then go 4, and then watch this one, and then watch 4. 4 is really my favorite of the franchise, but again, I'm not going to make a ranking here soon. But what do I think? I saw a thing about John Wick spin-offs. Should they still happen with the reception of Ballerina? And my answer is yes. I think that they should still happen only because this is our first one. Yes, Continental came out, but that was a TV series. There was no way to make box office money on that, so whatever. But this, however, this is our first true movie spinoff, and I think that We should allow more to be made. Give us that Kane one. You know, that Kane one, that like the end credit scene from the John Wick 4. I think that'd be cool. I saw a video that was like, John Campia said 5 John Wick spinoffs. I don't know what the 5 are. At least 2 of them are the one with Kane and the one with Halle Berry's character. But I don't know what's gonna happen. I'd love to see a Kane spinoff because I thought his character was dope, and I love the actor that played him. It's the same guy from I forget the actor's name, Donnie Yen from who was in Andor. No, not Andor. Rogue One. So I love this movie. I ate up every moment of the action. It does not stop. There's it does stop a little bit for like a little bit of a talking sequence, but max like 3 minutes, like prologue, like 3 minutes talking with the father and daughter, then action, then with the movie theater scene, then action. Oh, and I loved the moment with the door explosion, which you see in the trailer. Like I said, the flamethrower scene was awesome from the trailer, and then was like the duel was awesome. The flamethrower duel was awesome, and my favorite moment, my 2 favorite moments. Well, it coincided with the same action sequence, but the moment when Ana de Armas, Ballerina, goes inside the room. Remember when, like, all the John Wick movies, when he's getting, well, I guess not in 4, but, you know, when he's getting the guns, like, from the special room, like, here, what guns would you like, sir? Would you like this gun, or would you like this gun? Would you like a grenade, or would you like this item? Like, that scene, right? He's doing that, or she's doing that, like, getting the equipment. In the midst of it, a minute or 2, just and I'm laughing in the theater because I see this happen, and I'm like, normally nobody would expect it. Normally you'd let the scene finish playing out. All right, you got your equipment, then go bang bang, shoot shoot, bang bang. But it happened in the middle of the discussion, and I was just like, oh my god! I was like, holy god! So I thought that was funny. Also, in that action sequence, after, like, when they start shooting, they go boom boom boom, like through hallways, doors, and that's where the explosion with the door happens. So she, like, closes the door, like, blows up a guy, boom, through the door. She shuts it on her to shield herself. Right after that, she flips a table down with the guy and blows him up, like, puts the entire stash of grenades onto a guy, pulls out, like, 3 of them, and explodes, and the head flies off and the arms fly off. I'm like, what? Off the table. Like, over the table. I'm like, that was nuts. I didn't see that from the trailer, and I thought that was, like, the best stunt in the movie, if you will. So, yeah, it wasn't really a stunt, but best, you know, mechanic in the movie. And the plate scene was hilarious, so I already mentioned that before, but everything, guys, this movie is a 9 out of 10 for me, 4 stars on LetterBoxd, and an A+ for entertainment. This is going down as my second favorite movie of the year so far. And I'm not going to tell you what number 1 is. I just want to leave you in suspense because I got in a couple weeks, or at the end of the month, I'm going to be doing my top 10 movies of the year so far list. I did that last year, and I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed doing halfway and then at the end. I enjoy doing both now. For me, I'm a movie guy. I got to do what I got to do. I gotta like what does that mean? I don't know. I like to do halfway and then at the end of the year now. So I think that's fun. And I made a list. And I think it's cemented now, or I gotta see a couple more by the end of the month, and then I gotta rearrange things. So I am so happy to say that that's what I think of Ballerina. From the world of John Wick, Ballerina. That's what I think of it. It's too long of a title, by the way. I just call it Ballerina, like John Wick's Ballerina. Just call it that. Like I forgot I was gonna mention the title. Like John Campia was talking about, this title's too long. Like Rogue One, a Star Wars story. It feels a little concise. Like, just call it John Wick's Ballerina. Like, parentheses, like ballerina. Not parentheses, but like John Wick's Ballerina story. Or, I don't know, something like that. Call it that. But from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. Like, Ballerina's fine. Like, I know, like, the point across. Like, she is the ballerina. But don't call it this long name. From the world of John Wick, the Continental. Like, it's so long. Like, at that point, you're, like, the show, like, I didn't even care about the Continental show, but at that point, you're making me forget about your entire show because it's a long name. I don't even remember. I do remember because it came out, but I don't remember because I don't care about your show. With that said, guys, great movie. Recommend it. Can't wait because this weekend I'm going to see the new live-action How to Train Your Dragon, and there's lots more else to come out in June. So I'm coming out with that next week. Actually, next week I'll come out with that review, and I'll come out with a ranking of all the John Wick universe content. So stay tuned for that, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, watch the screen. Peace out, everyone. Bye.